Hey friends out there in YouTube land, Robert Ham here with roberthamphotography.com, and we're continuing our discussion of Instax branded cameras, and today it's the Mini 90. Before we get started, let me remind you I've got a full review of Fujifilm Instax coming for you, and this is a review from a photographer's perspective, my perspective. Big details for you about ISOs, film speeds, how that works, what's the exposure value and dynamic range, how to actually use this film in production work other than just point and shoot snap photography. And I got to tell you, I did all this research because I wanted to implement Fujifilm's Instax photography in my wedding portfolio. And I didn't know if it was going to be up to the test, but what I found out, long story, that it works great. And I hope that you enjoy it. That'll be coming up soon. It's been a lot of work. I've got over 40 hours of production time in it right now. This is excellent. But here's some excerpts from right now where we're going over the camera. Guys, you know how it goes. If you like what you see here, please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It's very, very, very helpful because it allows me to bring new content to you more often. We're at 1,100 and so subscribers. Let's get up to 100,000, 200,000. But that'll never happen without your help. Please, if you find this helpful, like, subscribe, share, and comment down below. The Mini 90, an excellent Instax camera. The Instax camera, that's the flagship in the Fuji line, costing about $200 MSRP, maybe $175. You can find it on sale for about $120 if you look closely. That's an excellent deal for this camera. And what makes this camera so special is that Fuji has used optical grade polycarbonate in the two-element, two-component lens. And what that means is optical grade polycarbonate are the same type of optical grade plastic that's used in glasses. This is very important because it provides an excellent lens. Now, we might say, why didn't Fujifilm provide glass? And I can't answer that question. But what I can say is that Fuji does not under-engineer anything. Fuji over-engineers. Fuji, with their Kaizen, their continuous improvement, always aims to bring a better camera and a better experience to our customers. And that means, real simply, that Fuji has done that with this camera. In fact, that polycarbonate lens right there is sharp. Very, very sharp. And you can resolve to the resolution of the film with this camera. Fuji didn't stop there. They didn't act like this was special just for their Instax Mini 90. That same type of plastic, that same type of polycarbonate can be found in all of the Instax cameras. If you're shooting Instax, you're going to be assured of beautiful image quality. Now, a couple things to know. Focusing is different on all Instax cameras. Instax cameras use zone focusing. And if you're not familiar with it, if you haven't ever shot the Rolly 35, or if you haven't ever shot a broken Olympus 35 RC with the rangefinder, you may not recognize what zone focusing is. Zone focusing is focusing within certain in-focus zones that the camera has predisposed. And what that means here is that this camera is ready to go once we turn it on at 0.6 meters to 3 meters. So we're like 2.5, 3 feet all the way out to like 9 feet, 10 feet. That's the normal range that this camera will focus when you just turn it on, and that's great. Most of your composition will be done at that focus distance. That means that if someone is far away, or if you're trying to focus on a landscape that's far away, more than 3 meters, more than 9, 10 feet, then it won't be in focus. So if you're having an issue with focus on this camera, the likelihood is that you're not changing the focusing modes properly. So let's think about that again. I like to do portraits with this camera. I do them all the time, and I like to do them up close. Images like this are taken very close. And how close? They're taken in the macro mode. Most of the time, I'll have the image focused in macro, and I'm at an arm's length. Now, I'm a 6-foot man, and arm's length is going to put me right where I want to be. So if I'm focusing and I can just reach out and barely touch the face of my subject, guess what? That's where I'm going to be in focus properly for macro. If I was in normal mode, guess what? If I was in normal mode right here, it wouldn't work. They'd be slightly blurry because the normal focusing mode is about a foot past my hand, or just a little bit past my hand. In fact, macro focusing is at best from here to right about here, from about 60 centimeters all the way to about 40. That's what the manual says, and I found that to be true. Let's talk more about the camera. It's got something else. A standout feature is its shutter speed. The shutter speed goes all the way up to 1/400th of a second, and that's excellent. We're going to talk about the apertures too. Aperture is f12.7 all the way up to 22, so we can expose properly on a bright day very easily with this camera. Not much required. What I do like to do is focus and shoot and expose with the darken mode on as well as flash, and that's cool. That gives me the ability to stop down at best 1 to 2 stops based on what the camera chooses, so the image gets darker, so that when I use my flash, I'm not overpowering any of the highlights that are already there, and I'm bringing in and filling any of the shadows that are there. Now, the guide number is a 9 on this flash, maybe it's an 8, and that's great because that means that we're going to get about 20 feet of exposure with this flash at ISO 100, but really, when we look at this here, we're at ISO 800 on the film, so it's a little bit more powerful at nighttime because the film's faster, and that's important. Because at nighttime, you're going to want to be able to fill the room with flash so that you don't just get a dark blob. And this camera allows you to do that very simply. There are some different modes of the camera, and we're going to talk about them now. Guys, I'm Robert Ham with RobertHamPhotography.com. I want to thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, keep shooting, my friends. But don't shoot, my friends. I mean, we're talking about photography. I mean, I'm going to have to change my sign-off slogan. And as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bam! that might be it. Yeah, that's it. If you got a suggestion, leave it down below. I'm done. I'm out. See you later, alligator.